Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Late Night Frights. So this week we are back with our horror battles. So I decided to battle two zombie comedies, both made in the UK, and they are Last of the Living and Shaun of the Dead. So before I jump into the battle, of course, I'm going to go over both of these movies very briefly, and then we will jump into the battle. So we'll start off with Shaun of the Dead. Shaun of the Dead was made back in 2004. The director is Edgar Wright, and it stars Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. So the general plot for Shaun of the Dead is a man decides to turn his boring life around by winning back his ex-girlfriend, rebuilding his relationship with his mother, and dealing with an entire community that has returned from the dead to eat the living. To the Winchester, anybody? And that's all that you really need to know about Shaun of the Dead. I have talked about this movie before on Late Night Frights in another zombie comedy horror battle. And in that video, if you haven't watched it, I basically say that Simon Pegg and Nick Frost are two of my favorite British actors besides Andrew Lincoln, the star of The Walking Dead. And they always make me laugh. I love all of the movies. Just really great actors. They was they were meant for comedy, and they just go really well together. It's just like they've known each other for years, just like that best friend relationship in all their movies, and it just plays out really good. But enough of Shaun of the Dead. Let's talk about Last of the Living. And if you haven't heard about this movie before, I'm not surprised. Um, I'll explain more later. Last of the Living was made in 2009. The director is Logan McMillan, and it stars Morgan Williams and Robert Fate. And the general plot for Last of the Living is a contagious virus is turning everyone into zombies, and the only hope for survival lies in the hands of three couch potatoes. And that's all you really need to know about Last of the Living. Um, Now, there's some things on the cover that I like to point out. It says that Shaun of the Dead has nothing on these three slackers or something like that, and that it's destined to be a cult classic. I don't really see that. To me, it's not better than Shaun of the Dead. I don't really know which one's going to win right now. It just depends on how the battle goes. But the Last of the Living is a very slow movie. It only has one really likable character, well, two, and one of their names is Ash. He's the one with all the gear, like the gloves and the elbow pads, knee pads, and the helmet. And the other one, I think his name is Johnny or something like that. He's the one with the guitar. He's the wild card of the bunch. But there's really not too much about this movie. I'm going to talk about it, but I'm going to talk about it in the battles, which are starting now. So, round one is story. Which one of these movies did I have the most enjoyment out of watching? Shaun of the Dead. Um, a great movie. I love that movie. I could watch it again right now if I could, but I got to do this video and get it up there. But maybe later. And Last of the Living. It sounded cool when I bought it. I bought it with 8 other movies in a Dollar General $4 pack thing. It sounded cool, Last of the Living. I thought it might be something a little serious, but it's another British zombie comedy, but it's nothing compared to Shaun of the Dead. Effects. Which one of these films had the better effects? That's a tough one. Actually, it's not. Shaun of the Dead had a lot better effects. Now, Last of the Living had effects that were cool. They really couldn't show too much gore, just due to the fact that it's such a low-budget film. Which they did, like go into a hospital and, have a plane and everything in it. I think they even went to like it was either a mall or a grocery store. It was like one of those big warehouses. And so, they had locations. It's just the makeup on the zombies were bad, especially this one that they have a huge fight scene with in a church. It was like it had a white face and like red over its mouth, and you couldn't see the eyes where it was such like just like a mask. But it was makeup. It was very bad, very badly applied. Um, but it was okay. Um, it's not great, but it's not terrible either. Like I said, it's one of those movies that look like something you'd watch off of YouTube, like a fan film or something, kind of like the Walking Dead fan series. It doesn't really have those, top model cameras. We don't really have those for our fan films, well, for our fan series and fan films, movies, whatever we're going to be doing. We just have like the one camera, and that's what we film with. And Last of the Living kind of has that same feel, where it's like a full movie. It is like almost 2 hours long. It felt like to me, sitting on the couch. I mean, that was it was a very slow movie. Even in like the action, it was pretty slow. Uh, but it's like one of those movies that never really made it anywhere. I don't know if it made it big time in the UK. I didn't really do that much homework on it, but for me, it's not as good as Shaun of the Dead. But round three is acting. Which one of these films had the better acting in it? Shaun of the Dead. Yeah. There is there's okay acting with some of the actors. The female character that we come across later on in the movie is okay. Kind of the only one that really did good, you know. um, the others, there's all acting and stuff, but they was trying to act like three bros, and it didn't really have that same feel as it does in Shaun of the Dead. They just didn't have that click, But it was different. But round three does go to Shaun of the Dead. Round four is gore. Which one of these films had the most gore in it? Shaun of the Dead. Round five. Which one of these films had the higher number of kills in it? Shaun of the Dead. So, I kind of lied earlier. I knew how this was going to play out because Last of the Living to me was a letdown when I realized that it was going to be a British comedy. I kind of had a little hope for it, but it never really did pique my interest. And the way that the movie ended was really weird. It was like one of those endings that a lot of people don't like, especially my dad. I'm not going to give away the ending. It's just something you're going to have to watch if you want to sit through what feels like 3 hours of a slow burn movie that doesn't even pull off the slow burn good. But that is it for this video, guys. If you liked it, please give it a like. Tell me, tell us which one of these movies would have won your horror battle if you'd have been battling them. And also just check out everybody else's videos on the channel, and also stay tuned for a video from Vanessa, Mike, and yeah, guys, once again, this is Jeremy telling you to be careful, because you never know what might be lurking in the shadows.